Alright, message sent out. Let's switch over to the live scene here. Alright. Hey, it's Ryu13 here, playing more of the Cinderella Phenomenon. Are we on chapter 5? I'm honestly not sure what chapter we're on at this point. I know I went longer than usual last time, and it hurt my voice. Yeah, let's get to it. You really are a handful. A delightful handful. His words keep repeating in my head. I cannot stop hearing his voice and feeling his lips on my hand. My face feels warm, and every time I think about his words, my heartbeat feels unsteady. But I have to stop thinking about that. Karma's karma, and he puts on that overly polite act with everyone. But then, I am pretty sure I've never seen him do something like that with another person. Let us go downstairs and stop thinking about all this. I need to tell Parfait and Laura what happened. Because of the time I'd returned to the margin yesterday, I never spoke to anyone about what happened. Maybe someone's downstairs, someone usually is. I leave my room and make my way downstairs to the reception. It is quiet when I enter, but not as silent as I thought it would be. Karma is sitting at one of the tables speaking quietly with Parfait and Laura. His injured hand is sitting on the table, bandaged. I cannot help but stare at it, my heart plummeting. His injury is my fault. So, you have yet to hear the entire story? No, I'm afraid I'm not quite privy to the information Waltz has. Is that correct? Waltz has been directly involved in this far longer than you have. What about Waltz? Princess, you're up early. They all turn to look at me as I stand at the table. Karma still looks tired and is not in his dress. He looks somber, but still smiles at me. Lucette, how nice of you to join us. When did he start saying my name without my title? Lucette, you've run into a lot of different mishaps this week, haven't you? I thought you'd be stubbornly avoiding work. Instead, you go out of your way to get yourself into trouble. This involves me directly. How would I not be curious? You've also been irresponsible, sneaking out without any of us knowing. I had the freedom to do whatever I want. I even wore a cloak. Oh no, the cloak. I left it at the bar. I feel a nudge at my arm, and Karma is holding out my cloak with a tired smile. You went back to get this? When? Yesterday, when you were still in bed. You've been running yourself dry these last few days, Karma. It's nothing. Thank you. What's this? Our ice princess is thanking someone? Why is that something so strange? Oh, come now, she's not so icy. Lucette is more fire than anything. She's filled with unbridled passion and confidence. Confidence has gotten me nowhere so far. Don't look so dour, Lucette. You've become quite the accomplished woman. Karma gestures towards me, and I flush, unsure of what he is talking about. Then I notice Laura's eyes are on me, too. Oh, Parfait, do you see that? What are they looking at? We got a new piece, didn't we? I reach down to grab my necklace and then pause. I cannot stop the gasp that leaves my lips. When did this happen? Princess, you didn't realize that there was an extra piece to your necklace? Congratulations, Princess Lucette. You're a step closer to breaking your curse. I feel proud. I only have ever felt this way around Mother. She did me a great favor yesterday. If not for Lucette, I might have suffocated me in a pile of very excited women. Wait, helping Karma escape was a good deed? She was selfless. He's not even mentioning the injury he got protecting me. Parfait and Laura are both smiling, but the cheerful mood does not last long. What were you all talking about before I came down? About your kidnapping. Well, kidnappings. Both of them. Looks like we have a serious problem on our hands. What do you know about this? What does Waltz know that I don't? Princess, it's more about what everyone else knows that you don't. What everyone else knows? I feel anger begin to simmer inside me, even though he looks apologetic. He says it so casually. Has she still not figured out her mom's wish? Is that what's happening? What are you all hiding from me? Let's gather everyone later. Surely, I think Waltz might want to be here for this too. What does Waltz have to do with any of it? Be patient, Princess. You've already waited this long. What's another few hours? I have no choice but to agree when Parfait and Delore refuse to say any more, but I'm not happy about it. I spend the rest of my time doing idle chores around the tavern. I go around sweeping with Mr. Broom and mindlessly organizing the bottles. I cannot believe everyone knows something about me that I don't. But now, I'll find out the entire story. Maybe it'll answer some of the questions I have. But why are they keeping things about me a secret to begin with? Delore gathers everyone in the tavern to discuss the kidnappings. I decide to sit in between Waltz and Karma. So, we have a story to tell. Story time, huh? I don't suppose this would be a romance, would it? How can you stand to make comments like that constantly? How can you stand to live a lie? The two glare at each other across the table, but Delore silences them. Delore starts with a story about the Great War, one that I have already heard so many times I can recite myself. What does any of this have to do with me? This is the fairy tales, which, just like myself, were punished for simply existing. Her leader, the Tenebrarum Bearer, was a kind witch that was overtaken by the grief that our people suffered. She was driven so far into madness that she created the fairy tale curse to punish humans and make them suffer as the witches had. And when that wasn't enough, she committed the ultimate taboo. She killed a human. I tried to stop her, but by the time I thought to act, it was too late. Knowing that Delore and Parfait were involved in the Great War makes it seem more real. But wasn't the Tenebrarum Bearer killed? How can the fairy tale curse continue to spread if she is dead? I believe that the Tenebrarum Bearer sacrificed the last bit of her life to continue power in the Tenebrarum, all to ensure that the remaining witches would continue spreading the fairy tale curse. Is none of this ringing a bell for you? What are you talking about? She really did erase your memories. Erase? The witch who died, the Tenebrarum Bearer, was your mother, Princess Lucette. What? For some reason I turned to look at Karma, who is one of the only people who doesn't look away from me. I grew up outside this kingdom, but even I knew the terrible witch Hildur. Expect me to believe any of this? Otherwise, she wasn't a witch. I would remember that. Well, you would if you had memories of the war, and the years before that. Under Hildur's rule, the palace was a dark place. The king didn't have any real power until Hildur was defeated. That goes for the rest of us too. We were slaves to Hildur. Dolore's eyes flickered to Waltz. It's the truth. Waltz knows because he's also a witch. He experienced Hildur's command over the witches firsthand as well. Waltz is a witch? Sorry for keeping a secret, Princess. It's not as if I can use much magic anymore. Anyway, not when I'm cursed. This is just another secret of many. It seems everyone is hiding something. Everyone was freed after Hildur's reign. Witches, fairies, and humans alike. The king was even able to marry Ophelia, the woman he always truly loved. So it has always been Ophelia that he truly loved? Was that the reason I never thought he loved me again? Because I was my mother's daughter? He gave up on me. No, dear, I don't think he... Actually, I think he did. He gave up on me. My voice is too loud in the reception area. I feel a crack beneath the pressure, and suddenly I want to cry. But Mother told me so many times not to cry. The king gave up on me. But Mother didn't. Mother would tell me this was all a lie. She would tell me not to trust anyone. They must be lying. I turned to Karma. For some reason, I trust him more than I trust Delore or Parfait. Is this the truth? I was told the story of Hildur and her daughter Lucette. They said you were the picture of elegance, but that you shared your mother's icy nature. But I don't think that's true at all. If Hilda was ice, he was certainly on warm fire. If my mother was a witch, then what does that make me? You're a witch as well. Whether or not you were ever taught to use magic, on your upcoming birthday, you will become the Cinderella bearer. Do you realize how ridiculous this all sounds? Me, a witch? The king never said anything. Now I cannot even ask him if this is the truth because I'm cursed. Why would you even curse me? We didn't want to repeat the tragedy, Lucette. I sat on your shelves for almost a year, Princess. There was ice in your heart, and if you had inherited the Cinderella of that state, who knows what would have happened. Then why didn't you just tell me any of this? Laura and Parfait look at each other before dropping their gazes to the ground. If we had told you before, would you have even bothered to listen? The king must have tried to do the same thing, and look how that turned out. You shut out everyone who ever tried to tell you about Hilda's true nature. That is probably true. Even now I'm having trouble believing that they are telling the truth. The whole world feels as if it's collapsing around me. I need to escape. I need to go out and be somewhere else, but why are the witches looking for me? You're the heir to the Tenebrarum. No doubt the evil witches will be on their side so they can continue wreaking havoc in Angel with the fairy tale curse. The men that were looking for Rosette were not witches, though. They were knights. Perhaps the witches and the knights are working together? This must be part of Alcaster's scheme to steal the throne. Okay. That actually explains a good bit. Because Rosette didn't know why they were gone. And Alcaster... I can't remember if we met him or if that was a different person, but either way, there was hints that something was wrong there. Alright. What are you talking about? The reason why Garland and I left the Order of Caldera was because the king did not believe us about Alcaster's coup. How would he know of the princess's identity, though? Anyone who isn't a witch, a fairy, or is cursed should be able to remember her. But now we know that it's not just the witches looking for the princess, but the knights of the Order of Caldera as well. They definitely have a description of her from someone. Lucette? Karma reaches out a hand to touch my shoulder, and I flinch back before standing up. I cannot speak about this now. I want to be alone. Let her go. She'll need a lot of time to think. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hilda, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me, was a Tenebrarum bearer, a witch, the first witch to kill a human. The witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time I thought Mother was the only one who cared about me, but what if she never did? I stay in my room for a long time, trying to process everything I have been told. Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. The last few days I felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it'll make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. He's staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Lucette! I prepare myself for a response, but find that no words come to mind. I've not spoken to Karma since the talk about Mother and witches, and any of the ease I felt with him before has slipped away. Still, I came here on my own, and I cannot just stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. Where are Hori and Garland? I'll only train with Garland. Horian is on patrol duty tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did too. Lucette, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been able to. I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It's not as if you owed that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've just been busy these last few days, scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me, why'd you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Why, Princess, that's because you're bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. But now, I want to change because I do not want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Not necessarily. Maybe so, but I believe you are being selfish for the right reasons. An entirely selfless person can't survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy ourselves? Yes, an angry person holds resentment toward everyone. It mars whatever good deeds they seek to do. And that's why I cannot complete my good deeds. Wrong. You've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, you said. Regardless of the motivation, you are trying to become a better person. That is what matters. He takes a step toward me, then puts his right hands on my shoulders, and leans down until I can look right into his eyes. Karma's serious expression startles me as much as his touch. It is never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? How could I have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Lisette? Standing too close? No, don't move. With his face so close, all I can do is stare right into his eyes. Karma's hands tighten on my shoulder, and for a few moments I feel a slight panic rising in my chest. Then Karma steps away from me with a rough shake of his head. Karma? Next time I do that, Lucette, feel free to push me away. What? It's better that way. What does he mean by that? You never answered. Will you listen to my story? Alright. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince from a kingdom called Brigantia. Brigantia is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe? His name was Claude Idric Rinaldi Mathus Amante, but because I see it. I don't even have to read the rest to be able to see what the Claude Idric Rinaldi Mathus Amante. Yeah, I see it. But because the name was such a mouthful, he settled for an acronym as a nickname, at least around the palace, where it was acceptable. Claude Audric Karma? Prince Claude was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Claude was a selfish man who felt he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. Then, one day, he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could. And then, at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Only weeks later, Prince Claude threw her away as one throws away an object and broke the woman's heart. And she cursed him. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Claude found out too late. The witch said she would make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even beauty a curse? Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Claude donned a disguise and left his kingdom behind. He's been gone for nearly a year now, and most probably assume he's dead. But in truth, the prince had come to Angel seeking a way to break his curse. He had heard of a young lady named Lucette who, on her 18th birthday, could dispel any curse. Karma. He looks so sad, I don't know how to comfort him. Claude? Karma, Claude, turns a startling red as he stares at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is, but hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer on your lips. I rather like it. My cheeks are warm again. How's it that he is always able to make me feel this way? I'll call you by that name if it makes you so happy. Let's make a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. Besides, I'd rather you kept the name for my ears only. Makes me feel more special that way. More special? At that moment, Garland shows up for practice and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favors his other hand, but his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. More karma, Claude tells me, more realize that he's, like me, a noble curse for being selfish. But how do I help break his curse? Why can't he tell me? As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. Have you confessed to Horian yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheath their swords. Garland looks almost as sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. He likes her, and yet he won't say anything. Why is that frustrating me so much? Garland. Yes, Princess? You have to tell Horian, come on. Claude told me before that confessing is hard, but what Garland is going through looks even harder. Princess, you know I'm incapable. No, you think you're incapable, but if you never say anything to her, you'll never know. If I say something wrong, I risk losing everything I already have with her. If you say nothing, you risk losing what you could have with her. Zed is right. But you should really tell her, Garland. Before Claude was adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Horian, what changed? If I mess this up... let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Horian is Lucette. How do you think she would like to be confessed to? I frown at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Horian are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess? My eyes move to Claude, but only fleetingly before they are once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland. Something that will not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is ever fragile, and each woman is different. Claude is wearing an amused smile on his face, but he's looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush and have to look away. Lucette, you're tomato red again. It's adorable. I cross my arms over my rapidly beating heart again and force a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland could do. Something simple. Like when Karma kissed my hand, Garland kissing Horian's hand is probably not a good idea. Maybe you could do what Claude and I did that one day in town? You could buy her some food and they could just talk. Garland, have you ever just asked Horian out for food? Not alone. Horian is practical and she always eats at the tavern. She's also on duty if she's available. I'll take her patrol shift 2 nights from now, then. Tomorrow you can ask her out for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or I could give you a rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. I'm offended. I feel like if I did something like that for Horian, she would get embarrassed and punch me. Sounds like another lady that I know. Claude grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Garland, just ask her normally, and then, when you're out and alone together, you can confess. We'll make sure you have the time to do it. I'll purposefully come late to practice tomorrow night, so you can ask her out for that date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? Just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will at least be an answer. Tomorrow night, then. Good man, I'm sure it will go swimmingly. Or I could drown. I won't drown, Garland. Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile before Claude turns to me, expecting a mischievous grin. Now, Lucette, we'll come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them? Of course, we need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't want to see how it plays out? I immediately shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason I'm imagining myself in Horian's position. It feels too personal. Claude's likeliness suddenly springs to mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Lucette, you've been oddly out of it today. Claude reaches out a hand towards me, then abruptly pulls away. I stare as he smiles at me, almost sheepishly. The conversation between us dies, and we return to marching. Days passed, and though I did not spy on the conversation between Horry and Garland, I noticed that Garland has been smiling from ear to ear during his practice with Claude recently. I can only assume that his confession went well. Claude took the patrol shift tonight, and as I lie in bed, I am restless. Every time I watch Claude practice with Horry and Garland, I'm reminded of the palace of Fritz. I wonder how Fritz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Excuse me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of bed and make my way to the reception room. Night air is cool, and no one stops me from standing just outside the marching. I can't just sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I don't want Claude to get hurt because of me again. Eventually I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual. But when he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Lucette, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Love instead of darling, that's new. Hello, Claude. His face is dark red again. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask for something serious. How could you have known that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. What? Oh, this is not about... Never mind. I'm asking if you'll be my instructor. For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use the sword. I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use a sword. I don't want you to have to keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princes shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. You are. I did not want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me, please. Claude. Once again he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction. It's both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine, I'll train you. You won't learn in a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords. Thank you. Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you. But aren't you tired? You looked exhausted when he came in, and now he wants to train? Or are you trying to get out of training? I am not. Claude shakes his head, but he's smiling. I'll see you there in a few minutes, love. Moonlight spills through the leaves, illuminating the forest with gentle light. Long minutes pass, and as I stand in the clearing, I begin to feel restless. It isn't like Claude to be late. Is he tending to his injury? I hear rustling the leaves and turn immediately to see what the disturbance is, but the minute I do, I am pulled back by a strong force and my world goes dark. Before I can scream, I hear a gentle voice in my ears. Lesson 1, Lucette. When apprehended by an enemy that you can't see, remain calm and use your 5 senses to judge how best to get the upper hand. This voice is coming from right behind me. Claude? I become aware that this is the closest he's ever been to me with my back pressed to his chest like this. Panicking disorients the mind. That is why you must remain cool under any circumstances. How could I not panic? Any normal person would panic. Still, I try to force myself to be calm. Lesson 2. Enemies will often let down their guards when they think they have the upper hand. Get your opponent off guard by remaining calm and looking at this weakness with your senses. I try to calm myself as Claude instructs. I feel it's a bit easier, but only because I know it is Claude. An opening. I move as quickly as I can, stepping forward so that I can swing an elbow back at Claude's stomach. Before that happens, Claude has pulled me back into him, closing whatever distance I had put between us. In the process, he moves his hand from my eyes to my mouth. I can once again see the forest, but my words are muffled beneath his hand. Another thing to remember, you won't always be able to catch your enemy off guard by throwing punches or hits at them. Your opponent will usually always be stronger than you, Set. Remember what I said about a weakness? Enemies will often let their guards down when they believe they are winning. Just like I have. An opening? A thought occurs to me as I glance around me and then down at Karma's bandaged hand. Karma's bandaged hand is over my mouth. Is this an opportunity or a trick? What do you do? What would you do, Princess? What kind of tactic would remove you from my grasp? Biting his hand. I'm going to feel terrible about this, but I have to try. Try to shift my head to get enough space to bite down. Even Claude cannot hold me completely still as I squirm. Eventually the hand over my mouth moves just enough for me to open my mouth, but I falter. I cannot bite the hand I injured. Unable to do anything else, I immediately shake my head and hear Claude groan. In one swift motion, he pushes me to the ground, pinning my hands by my head as he frowns at me. You're not even going to try and find an opening? I glare at him. I'm not going to bite your hand. Bite my hand? I don't know why I went backwards for a second there. I didn't even think of that. But you made it obvious. You put your hand over my mouth. I meant for you to try moving my hand. Pushing back a person's thumb usually causes their grip to loosen. How was I supposed to know that? Experience is the best means of practice, as they say. I have a complaint about that particular lesson, but I withhold it. It was a pretty good attempt, love, but not good enough, I'm afraid. I wasn't expecting you to come at me like that. I was expecting a sword practice. You weren't expecting a man to kidnap you in the alleyway, were you? I glare up at him, unable to say anything because he's right. You're oddly quiet. It's hard to find an opening to hurt you when you're not really my enemy. He does not move, but continues to stare at me. His face is close to mine, close enough to what exactly? Set, do you trust me to protect you? That's not the point. I need to be able to protect myself. Because you're planning on investigating the witches on your own? No, I want to be able to I want to be able to protect myself because I do not want you getting hurt protecting me. Claude leads down, and I can feel his hair at my cheek. For a few moments, everything slows to a stop, and all I can hear is my heartbeat and his slow breathing. Once you set your mind to something, you don't let go, do you? Claude pulls away from me before I can respond, and he's standing again, offering me a hand. Let's get started with some sword work, then. A pleasant smile is back on his face. I can never tell what he's thinking at times like these. What are you really like? Claude. Chapter 7, Thorny Rose. Alright, as much as I'd like to continue, my voice is still recovering, so I'm going to save it here. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and have a great time, or maybe... Bye, guys.